Namaste, everyone, and welcome to Sri and Kira Exploring the Mysteries.
Hey, namaste, everyone. We're going to put a little more energy into that namaste. How about it, Sri? Let's try that
one again. Turn it off the music. Here we go.
Namaste, and welcome to Explore the Mysteries with a little more oomph and vigor. We are back after our extraordinary travels.
Incredible.
Oh, my gosh.
5 weeks we've been
Still
away.
unpacking so much. We really hope that you have been tuning into all the shows that we pre-recorded for TFR Live, where we are broadcasting today. Hi, everybody.
Yes.
We're just so glad to be here live. And of course, we are also over at onenesstalkradio.com, where we are video broadcasting, audio broadcasting, and there's some chat going on over there as well. And then we are, of course, video broadcasting over where, Sri? At YouTube, yes?
At YouTube, theoretically at both channels, meaning the Oneness Talk Radio channel is carrying the stream, and of course, official Sri and Kira is carrying this video stream.
Yeah.
And by the way, a little stream over at Facebook.
Oh, hey, yeah, always good over there, Oneness Talk Radio Facebook page. And so, beloved angels, you feeling it, right? I mean, we are right there. The dance has begun. And that is this beautiful dance that we are all doing right now that has already started. It started as part of this third cycle of December that began on the 21st, on the beautiful solstice day. But we are dancing into this final moment, and we are a breath away. I mean, today is the 28th. It is 3 days, right? Our own resurrection energy, our own ascension moment. 3 days until this cycle literally releases into what I want to call the omnipresent eternal of the 31st. Now, I want you to really breathe that in, because December 31st, remember, stands alone. And 2020, already, the energy's already been coming in. She's already been, you see this beautiful dance of these two dragonflies here. This is the 2020 experience. It's going to be the dance. And so the dance has begun. And it began December 1. And if you go back, and Sri and I really encourage you, go back, and if you have not yet watched our December video, or if you did watch our December Ascension Energy video, go watch it again now, because you're going to have an aha after an aha after an aha. And it brings us to this extraordinary, exquisite moment. And thank you all for being here with us today. And one of the things that I want to share is that I think many of you know that this is, 2020 is this beautiful dragonfly year of mastery experience. And Sri and I are going to be talking a lot about that on today's show. But Sri, you are never going to believe this. Literally, I kid you not, there's the times. I'm showing him a timestamp on an email.
Yeah.
So at 3:47, which would have been 13 minutes before we went on the air with you, and I love the magic of that.
13's a powerful number.
One of our beautiful blessed residents who's here right now, Masha Sigurdsson, a lot of you know her, Messages of Light, her show's right here at onenesstalkradio.com as well, took a picture of a dragonfly in the Temescal.
Oh, sweet.
Now, guys, in this moment, in this energy, it's like, pay attention, right? And so the signs are everywhere. And we're going to talk a lot about that today as well.
Because the dragonfly is the totem, you might say, for the coming time. The dragonfly energy is fast upon us, and we love when we see nature's confirmations happen.
Absolutely. And so remember, you can also call us. I'm seeing the call board fill up over here, so I waited. But yeah, there are still some lines. 517-208-1500. Again, 517-208-1500. You do get to listen to the show while you are holding. And of course, we always look forward to chatting with you. All right, Sri. Well, in this dance that's beginning, and one of the things I want to talk about right now is this amplification. Mm-hmm. We are in this third cycle of December. And so what's important to recognize is that as we are here together right now, 2020 is bringing together, okay, first of all, in the Chinese zodiac, it's the year of the rat. And there is so much around the year of the rat. I will also share I'm a year of the rat, which so for me personally feels very interesting as an amp and a kind of a serendipitous moment.
It's a full cycle.
Yeah, very fascinating. And but 2020 is a year of a rat, and it's a metal rat, METAL. So what does that mean? That means that it's all about flow. It's all about the water. It's all about calling in, and it's really about richness. And rats like to be opulent sometimes, and so are you paying attention to that? And one of the things that I also find very fascinating that you'll hear about when Sri and I put out the January Ascension Energy Forecast, and that's going to be up on YouTube in about 48 hours, is that the Chinese, actually, in their astrology, this will actually begin January 25th. Well, when you hear the predictions for January, that makes even more sense. And so it's a very extraordinary, so that's one of the first energies coming in. Then remember, it is also in ascended numerology, 2020 becomes the 4 plus the double infinite. Yeah. Now, that's outrageous, just in and of itself.
That's a powerhouse.
Just in and of itself, yeah.
Yeah, and if you take a look behind us, you see the dragonflies. We love this graphic because it's showing the unity, the sacred union, the circulation of energies, and the opportunity to ignite ever greater ascended presence.
Well, especially when you're in that equilateral cross of perfect balance. I mean, that. Remember that in ascended numerology, when you take that 4, what is the 4? The 4 is the cross of perfect balance. The cross is all about this really making everything just work. You know, bringing all the pieces together, finding it through that still point within, or that still center energy of within. And I think what's so important to recognize is that with this experience of the ascended numerological overview of what 2020 is, and we're going to be talking a lot more about this during our full Revelations New Year's Eve. So I think we should just stop here right now. Would you tell people how they could join us?
Well, I'll tell you what, New Year's Eve, there are going to be a wonderful group of spiritual family members gathered here at Tosa Blue Mountain in Ecuador.
All wearing our soul costumes.
Yes, and we're going to be dancing and smiling and loving and setting energy and holding energy and blessing our planet and beyond.
Yes!
And all of that's going to get started at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. And then at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, we're going to have a more formal celebration and gathering with a live archangelic ensoulment and some messages from the ascended ones, and truly an opportunity to open our heart, open our higher chakras, and be present to the benediction, as they would say,
blessing.
The blessing that is here upon us at this time. Now, that said, here's how you join us. The first thing to know is that if you send us, if you register at shriandkira.com, you just, there's a link there at the events page. So up at the top right.
But also, if you go to the home page, if you're on the home page and you scroll down, okay, well, that might be easier.
Yeah, you go to the home page and you scroll down, there's a
right
link
across
there.
From the Ascension Energy Forecast.
Perfect. You're right. That's the easiest one.
It is.
And that takes you right where you can register, because we're going to be starting to send out a couple of emails in just a day. So we want you to get on board. If you register in advance, you're going to get some wonderful ensouled information, some preview, you might say, of what's coming, as well as an opportunity to be part of the live camera feed during the party.
Woohoo!
Yay! And then at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, we'll switch over to the live YouTube broadcast, where then it's open to the public, and everyone and anyone can join us at Shri and Kira Live, the official Shri and Kira channel at YouTube. So, beloved ones, it's a grand time. We invite you to join us, and please register in advance, because why not get in the mood, get in the flow, get connected?
That's the key. Be part of the community.
Yes.
Be connected. We're also so grateful this year that our dear friend David Raphael has offered us some of his incredible video creations that we will be playing as we come into both of these experiences, so that you really have this visual artainment that he has mastered. And he's also going to be my guest on Soul Mirrors January 2nd. So that's right here at TFR Live as well, Thursday nights. As a matter of fact, it would be next Thursday, my first return show as well. So just so many beautiful people supporting this event this year, and so many joining us from around the world. We already have so many people that pre-registered. Please, why not gift yourself with a few hours of self-ascended New Year birthing, especially, going back to this 2020 being that 4 of perfect balance, being that, and the double infinite, Shri.
The double infinite is really exciting, because is that not what it's all about?
Yes, it's double O everything.
Intersecting figure eights is a double infinite. That is the harmonic spin of the center of all that is, the gateway to the divine.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. I love it.
I do too. And in ascended numerology, when you have the 4, It comes with what's known as the perfect balance checklist. And tomorrow on Shri and Kara Live, Shri and I are going to give that checklist to you, because in this year of perfect balance, this checklist is to be reviewed through the entire year. It's not just about right now. Pay attention to it, work with it now, but you're going to need to work through this through the entire year, and it's going to help you ascertain whether or not you're on that ever-refining spiral going upward, going down, or staying lateral. So lots of secrets coming out of the closet, lots of keys being offered. And so, again, remember, this is just part one, right? You want to be with us today, tomorrow, Shri and Kara Live at noon Pacific time, and then make sure you're with us New Year's Eve, oh my goodness, and at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then you touch base with me January 2nd at Soul Mirrors. So we're very excited. There's a lot going on.
Absolutely. You know, and you just touched on something important, and that is the spiral energy.
Thank you.
Because when we begin to relax into the recognition of what's happening, we will begin to more fully notice that we are either lifting, and in the lift, sometimes it feels as though we're circulating past that which we've experienced before, but we're having a different interaction with it. At any rate, this lifting energy has a flow, and it's there and it's available. Hop on board that escalator and go for it. However, because the universe offers a full balance, that same energy has a downward spiral as well. And the downward spiral, let's say here's the middle, you're either lifting into the ascended energy frequencies or you're descending back into the density frequency.
You're re-experiencing.
In order to experience something that you may have missed, you may be needing, or you just weren't aware of before.
Yeah.
And then we come into a completion with that, and you have a whole new choice in front of you.
Well, awareness, experience, choice.
Absolutely. But so the
perfect.
model to kind of hang on to is a little bit like these intersecting figure eights that we were talking about earlier. The infinite is we're either circulating into an ascended pattern, or we might be going into a more dense pattern.
Or we're lateral.
But wait, there's more.
There's more.
There is the lateral,
right,
which
where
is
you're
the lateral is a way of fully taking in that where you are, kind of thing. It's sort of like, okay, I've just achieved a certain level of attainment, and I want to hang out here a while. I want to kind
or sometimes a lifetime or two or three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about choosing to be in that integrative phase or that repetitive phase at some point of the level of vibration that you're carrying. So knowing that these are your opportunities, it invites you to be ever more aware, because there's a benefit at all of them.
Yeah.
You might say there's a payoff, and the question is, are you recycling old benefits, or are you really getting nourished by what's going on? Because each of our souls has a unique journey. Your journey is as unique as you are, and this is why the path of self-ascension is as unique as you are, because we are all resolving that which has gone before and accepting that which is to be.
Well, and what I'm enjoying you saying, Shri, is that the yoga of self-ascension is really the experience of the energy. And we actually just got a whole new installment on this that came in yesterday that Shri and I are still kind of unpacking ourselves. And we'll share more about that one with you tomorrow as well. Because in order to really give ourselves the gift of the spiral is to remember that you never leave it. It doesn't matter. This is that whole concept of higher, lower, and whatever a quote payoff might be. It's to get to the place where payoff would never even be part of the equation. Because when we are looking for the greater payoff, then we're usually still cycling laterally. Lateral cycles keep us trapped and feed the ego. The ego loves the lateral cycle. And there's a lot of breath in the lateral cycle. And if you'll notice, this is why for 2020 we put out this background for you today, and we actually have a graphic we're going to be showing you in the second half of the show where we've laid out the entire year. But you'll see that what's happening here, right? It's this spiraling energy of the dragonflies, and it doesn't matter where you are in it. What matters is whether or not you are aware of where it's bringing you. And so this is one of the greatest gifts, because with the energy of the dragonfly, we sincerely have the opportunity to transform. And to not only transform, but to literally 2020 has an adaptability to the shifting timelines. In other words, it's like an adaptability. And that adaptability comes from this dragonfly energy as well. And what I find so beautiful about this, if we overlay all of this together, so you have this is in the cycle of spiritual evolution. This is a middle year.
Yes.
Right? This is a middle child year. So it's going to try and please everybody. All right. So it's a middle child year. And so because of that, 2020 is a mastery experience moment. So that's number one. It's a middle year in spiritual evolution. Number two is that 2020 is the perfect balance plus the double infinite. Now, if you layer on top of that the energy of the rat, where this took me, guys, where my revelation came in on this was, oh my God, look at, okay, the rat is bringing in all this abundance and richness energy and the ability to really finish things and tenacity and to get in even the smallest space, that no matter what, it's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
And so you have that. And then you have this perfect balance with the cosmic double going on around that, and it's all about mastery experience. And so where this took me, guys, was the ride of Ganesha.
Oh, wow.
You know, that this was about that Ganesha, you know, has, a lot of you know that the little mouse might often be seen at Ganesha, but what you may not know is that sometimes you see Ganesha actually riding the much larger mouse. And that was supposed to be in his final moment of like commanding that energy. And I won't go through all of the stories right now, but I think we need to talk about what's happened since we got home.
Well, there are so many things to share.
Because it's pay attention to the signs, guys, and we have to share with you what's been going on, because this is going to blow your mind, hopefully as much as it's blowing ours.
And just be with the whole expectancy that there is an intersection afoot.
Oh, more than
this
that.
This intersection. And I'm
like
trusting
the grand reunion.
If I ask you to just pause for a second and breathe, do you feel the acceleration?
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Because the acceleration is upon us.
Oh, yeah.
And Kira, go ahead. What we're going to do is share a little bit about where we are and what's up and what's coming.
Well, okay. I thought you were going to share that, but that's all right. So, all right. Well, why don't we go ahead? I completely lost where I was going. So why don't we take a caller?
Let's take a caller, and then we'll get back into that flow.
We sure will. All right. So where would you like to go, Sri?
Well,
how about Cleveland, Ohio? I see
Ohio.
Monica. Hey, Monica. We haven't said hi in a while. Oh, let's get you unmuted there. There we are. Namaste.
Hello, beautiful Sri and Kira. Welcome home.
Thank you. Thank you so much. How are you?
I am good, and I called to say I love you.
Well, we love you too, honey. Welcome,
you.
welcome.
Yes. And, well, I know you have a lot to share with the world, and I would be so honor-filled if you would, Kira, please give me a little mini soul reading from my heart to my heart.
Oh, sweetheart. Well, first of all, I want you to just relax more into you and breathe. Yeah, just there we are. I just want that. And as you're doing that, I really want to share with everyone too, because we are at such an intense moment. You know, we started talking about that earlier this show, that this is, you know, an amplification moment. And so when I connect with you right now, I feel it in your third chakra. And so I'm just inviting you to, there you go, slow down and breathe. And so what's important to know is that as you do that deep within you, there is a fear that I'm seeing wrapped around your heart that keeps your third chakra vibrating. And so the message that they're wanting you to hear in these last few days of this cycle is that it is really important for you to let the fear have the voice it needs to have with yourself. Maybe journal with it. You know, and then as you let the fear have its voice, you will resolve it. And you will also discover through it what you've been looking for. And your third chakra will free your power back and support your heart during this time. So I'm even losing my breath finishing this with you. And so I'm thanking you for giving this gift, not only for yourself, but for, I know there's a lot of people listening right now that this was their moment as well. So thank you, my love.
Thank you, beautiful Kira. And I've been doing the forgiveness practice again.
Wonderful. You know, I think at the new year, it's always a great time to do the forgiveness practice. I love that you've started it already. That's fabulous.
Most
Did
definitely.
you want to share to that?
No. I applaud you for doing that, because so often, especially in the last few days, we've had a lot of people, especially in the last few days, we've had a lot of people, especially in the last few days, we've had a lot of people, especially in the last few days, we've had a lot of people, especially in the last few days, we've had a lot of people, especially in the last few days, we've had a lot of people, especially in the last few days, we've had a lot of people, especially in the last few days, we've had a lot of people, especially in the last few days, we've had a lot of people, especially in the last few days, we've had a lot of people, especially in the last few days, we've had a lot of people, especially in the last few days, we've had a lot of people, especially in the last few days, we've had a lot of people, especially in the last few days, we've had a lot of people, especially in the last few days, we've had a lot of people, especially in the last few days, we've had a lot of people, especially in the last few days, we when our lives are interacting with the world, there are an infinite number of bruises.
Yes, there are.
And so to be able to let them go and to be buoyant is really a practice of your mastery. So congratulations.
Yeah, and thank you, honey. So Shri, I want to, with what Monica just did, it's like the universe came back and said, the story of the mouse that we were going to share. I think we need to talk about that because, again, when we look at all the energies of January that are playing together, it's the year of the rat and all of the energies that come in around that. And all of this is in our January Ascension video, our Ascension energy forecast for January and the 2020. So you'll get it soon. And so when you look at that, when you look at the ascended numerological experience of this, the 4, right? The 2020 becomes the 4 plus the double infinite.
Yes.
And then you look at all of the other elements that are coming in around this year. It is a mastery experience year. It is a middle year. It is a year of dragonfly ignition. What happened yesterday was, and early this morning actually, was when I started synthesizing and looking at all that. And as you were sharing people, pay attention, the signs are there. Yeah. Since the day Shri and I got home, we have been literally having to navigate living with mice. and they're little babies. And what was so interesting was that, they're very smart. They know how to hide. They know how to get their needs met. They know how to sneak in. How I knew we had a mouse in the house was because when I first went to say hello to my bird, Chelita, there was little mouse poop all in his cage. And I'm like, that is not a special bird seed.
No.
That is definitely a visitor.
I said that was maybe an artifact of some of the seed mix. And then we look a little closer. We go, uh-oh, that's an intruder that has been opportunistic. And it must be pretty small to get through the wires of the parrot's cage.
Exactly. And so what was fascinating, guys, was this was the day we got back. And we got back on the 22nd, right? The 22nd? Mm-hmm, yeah. Mm-hmm. So we got back right on, or was it the 21st we actually came back?
Whatever Saturday.
Yeah, that's Saturday. We actually came back on the 21st that's right, because it was when this cycle began. And so over the past few days, we've been cleaning and, then I found some other hard evidence that we definitely had a little mouse in the house. And so every day we have been dealing with this mouse energy every single day. And so has Chelita.
And the bird has been acting differently when the mouse is around.
Freaked out, and so it was obvious. And Shri tried a couple of things to see if maybe we could not, stop the mouse from coming in. Well, that did not happen. There is a mouse in the house. So finally, just yesterday, we made that horrible decision where we were going to have to put out a trap. And it kills us. We hate doing this. We did everything we could. So sure enough, first night this morning, my beloved wakes up this morning with having to dispose of our first, transcended mouse. So we're like, okay. And I'm reflecting on all this energy that's coming in around us. Well, then I like to go outside. I have a little Shiva garden right outside of my office window. And oftentimes I feel called to go just sit outside. It's a very private little area that I sit in, very, very small. And I go sit on my chair and I have this beautiful 200-year-old rock wall and all the plants and my little Shiva altar. Well, today when I did that, so we woke up with the mouse that has transcended. As I was sitting there, I watched the cutest little mouse. I mean, it had to be all of this big. I mean, what is that, like 1.5 inches maybe? Adorable little cafe color, come right out of the wall and look at me like, excuse me, I need to get in your house because you got a parakeet.
You got birdseed.
And it was bold. And it would see me, look at me, make a decision, run back in the wall. And it kept coming out like 2-3 times to the point where I was like, okay, there is such a strong message here that is saying, pay attention. Pay attention. And so this is when I really wanted to look at the fact that Ganesha is what? The remover of obstacles. Mm-hmm. Well, while we were in New Delhi, we had these 8 days where so much happened. And what was it really the journey of? It was the journey of Ganesh.
One of the first things that happened when we arrived in Delhi is one of the wonderful artisan suppliers who offers things you'll find at maulasforascension.com, came with a beautiful bronze Ganesha statue.
Handmade, lost wax method. I mean, like
one of a
beyond
kind.
Amazing, one of a kind.
And
that's what he shows up with.
It's the dancing Ganesh, not the seated. So the dancing Ganesh to me was saying, let's move forward, know, they're
Right.
a remover of obstacles. We're in motion.
And we do not have a dancing Ganesha
No.
in our temple. And right now, this one's sitting in our private altar right now. But our journey opened. And then when we went to, so it opened with this Ganesh. And then when we went to Bhutan, he was left behind in India in suitcases because we couldn't bring him to Bhutan.
Right.
Then, as you guys all know, what happened in Bhutan, we wound up leaving Bhutan early. You can listen to some of our past shows. When we got back to India, I made a very beautiful altar in our room, because I knew we were going to be in this room quite a while, featuring this Ganesha sitting on some Bhagavad Gitas that I had purchased along the way. And the next thing you know, the entire staff starts participating. It was amazing.
Well, it's an amazing thing to be in a hotel where the staff feels both surprised and delighted that we are being honoring and respectful.
I think shocked was the word,
Yeah.
you know, along with the time. Sri, look at this. I just want to give a shout out to those of you at TFR Live. In probably about 30 seconds, we're going to be cutting out to some commercials, but hey, stay with us because we have a lot of show to go, including we're going to be showing you the graphic of the full 2020 overview when we come back. So I just wanted to make sure we got
Absolutely.
that shout out done, Sri.
Yeah, we honor and respect you for participating in
Thank
today's
you.
show.
Absolutely.
And meanwhile, back at the hotel.
Back
in
at
India.
the hotel, the Ganesha Miracle Hotel. Oh my gosh! And what's happening right now?
Well, and here's the piece I want to share is so the cleaning staff, the maintenance staff that had come into the room to do the various things they do had noticed that we had this beautiful statue and we had given it a place of honor in the room with flowers.
And I also do want to give a shout out to Spurthy and her beautiful family. I had a beautiful little Shiva Linga
Right in
that
front
they
there.
had
Yeah.
left for Sri and I, gifted us when we were in Varanasi. I had our offering jar from the water at Mother Ganga. Rudrakshas. I mean, and I had our beautiful stoles from the Kashi Vishnava.
Yes.
Yeah.
So everything in this sacred corner of the room
Was like, hello.
was an honoring of these traditions and these energies that are so present and alive.
Oh my God, yes.
And so Ganesha was dancing there and just sending out that emanation of love your life, all is well. And so one day, one of the staff members comes in holding a little present wrapped in colorful paper. Guess what it was?
It was a Ganesha. It was the cutest little Ganesha you've ever seen. And then he also had with it a Tulsi Mala, because he is a classic dancing Krishna. And so not only did he gift us with this beautiful, that we immediately added to the altar, this beautiful Ganesha, and it now sits on my desk at my office, but he showed us all these videos.
Yeah, so this young man his passion was the traditional dances.
Beautiful. I mean, like the real thing, guys, the real
And he
thing.
showed us a video of an event that he was all dressed in blue paint on his face. And
Krishna.
He did the dance of Krishna. And the women in the dance were doing the flowing
The
energies of the
gopis.
gopis. And he was just so happy to share this with us because this was his passion. And it reminds me to remind you of, hey, share your passion. Ignite others with the love that you have for what you do and who you are.
Yeah.
And we were so delighted by his sharing and his gift that we gave it a place of honor and we offered him our love and our hugs. And everybody was just so happy together.
And you know, this kept growing. And then the next day, it was the manager of the staff had delivered a huge vase of flowers because he felt our altar needed flowers. And from that day on, every day they freshened them. And so we had this beautiful vase of flowers. And then the butler, they had a guy that they call a butler, you know, that just comes to your room, came for you. And he said, sir, you know, and he was staring at Sri and he goes, sir, I've seen all these beautiful objects for your wife and from your wife, and I wanted to bring this to you. And it was so beautiful in this beautiful organza bag. Gorgeous.
Yeah, and so it was yet another Ganesh.
Right? Another one.
In a very unique pose.
Like in a leaf.
We had huge leaves
Like almost a
behind
big
him, and he
cabbage
was
leaf?
sitting in repose just in bliss.
All hand painted.
In
Adorable.
bliss. And it was a reminder to me that when we enter our happiness, when we enter the bliss of our divine connection and we allow it to be expressed into our form and all form energies around us, we are in a communion that is a blessing to all.
Exactly.
And truly, that was my takeaway from this. I gave this man a hug, and I honored and respected him for offering the balance in the altar, the balance in our union, and his love and attention. And so in some way, I'm hoping that our sharing of these events with you today is also emanating back to India, and so that those people may all feel
we
blessed.
had to be in India that extra time. And you know, Shri, I want to bring this kind of to the full circle as I'm welcoming all of you at TFR Live back on Hello. We're welcome to have you back. We're excited to get moving forward. So the other thing I want to share about this observation and about how it applies is that in the end, when Ganesha in his final incarnation is riding the large rat, what it's really saying is that I have conquered all pests that would seek to stop the growth of my garden. And so as we move toward 2020 and we overlap that energy, the bounty, the richness that 2020 is bringing forward is what enriches our lives. It is a moment where anything we initiate from that level of consciousness of the ascended four presence will manifest. And to remember that until a four, right? Because remember, we want to think of this as a full year's energy. So until a four matures, so let's say if we were riding the density aspects of 2020, until a four matures, then they're going to feel very uncomfortable in the world, and the world's going to be very frightening to them. And it brings me to something I wanted to share with all of you that you may or may not remember, but Shri and I put out the 7 Polarities of Free Will program in 2015. And it details every single year of the Ascension Escalator. And I really wanted to bring this up again right now because 2020 as the 4 year of perfect balance and mastery experience, middle child, in the rat energy of the metal rat, which is flow, and this beautiful opportunity of Ganesha empowered, brings us into, and I'm going to read for the 7 Polarities of Free Will, we had both the ascended energy and then the density energy. It's all about trust.
Yeah.
It's all about trust. And this trust is all about you trusting the divine, knowing, and through that, the gift, the co-creative self-ascended yoga presence this year, calling forward the energy of trust, will offer your divine nature a radiance. The awakening of self-ascension as illumination, through illumination, with illumination is this year. More beings will discover self-ascension this year than I think in the 18 years Shri and I have done self-ascension. And I know that's true. And you can check me next year. and along with that, there will be greater clarity, greater vision. Imagine your life with really crystalline clarity and clear vision and a flow of indisputable knowledge that lifts you. And that comes from that trust. That's what's ahead for us in 2020. And Trina, I'll be sharing a lot more about that. And remember, we put this out in 2015. And here's the key, though, in the density cycles. You will see a lot more doomsday stuff. Doomsday preoccupations are going to become big business. And in addition to that, there'll be lots of anger over a sense of no future. And I am reading from the program we put out in 2015. If you've never seen this, you should get the program. There will be a lack of vision, and fundamentalism, believe it or not, gets worse this year. or it gets bigger. I shouldn't use that word, excuse me. It just gets bigger. And so I wanted to bring that up because when you can overlay all of that together, can we look at the 2020 chart, Shri? So we're going to, those of you that are watching, this is the first time you're seeing it. Okay, you know that each year we put out the entire year at the very beginning of the year. And so this is the 2020 Year of Mastery Experience chart. And I will add to this as the year goes on. But what's important to look at this chart right now is that the overarching energy of the Dragonfly is receiving the support of the double infinite. And that's why you see what look like angel wings with this crystalline eternal presence. The Dragonfly is going to fly you into that crystalline portal. Now, everything on this page was absolutely designed to support the energy experience. So, number 1, you will see that January, February, March, April, May, June, July, and August, 8 months. These 8 months right now will be the first full cycle. And it will have its peak moment, or I'm going to say in-breath, between April and May. And I'll have a lot more to share about that later in the year. But why is this so important? Because if you look to the left of the tail of the Dragonfly and to the right, these 8 months consist of a 4 and a 4. And it's very much that way. This is how they're laying out. Each month will always carry its own individual energy. But let us not forget that January, we are starting out January in an experience energy as well. So we're diving into this double experience, knowing that we are entering into an 8-month cycle that's going to peak up and peak back. But here's what's really interesting about 2020, guys. Look at September, October, November, and December. Those 4 energies play with these 8. What happens between January and February, you're going to see a lot of that return in September. March and April will have a direct effect on October. May and June will have a direct effect on November, and July and August will have a direct effect on December. And the reason that we've created this chart or this graphic this way for you this year, where we have the meditating being of oneness in the ocean of eternity beaming the cosmic rays, is because you see the arms are integrated with the archangelic realm, and the crown is fully illuminated with the dragonfly carrying this presence. That is what awaits you if you say yes to your cosmic presence this year. That is going to be the gift that will keep this year from imploding. Is those of us that are literally holding the year of mastery experience through our own ability to transcend multiple dimensions, thereby supporting all. It's a massive year.
It's a big year, and I just want to offer a special acknowledgement to my beloved Kira, who, when she creates these graphics and charts, there is an inspiration in her that offers you a symbolic depth beyond the surface. So as you hang out with this, you're going to start seeing those relationships.
Yeah, a lot more.
And especially as the year begins to unfold.
Yeah, no, and thank you, Sri. I really do appreciate that. It's interesting because I think a lot of you know, and moving into this New Year experience, and again, please go to SriandKira.com, right on the homepage, right across from the December Ascension Energy Forecast. Huge thing. Click here to join us at New Year's. We have a lot that we're going to be revealing.
Yeah.
New Year's feels like a coming out party for Sri and I'll tell you that, in a lot of ways. Well, and it's going to be coming from our brand new yoga studio. We're grand opening that night.
Well, that's one of the things that's been going on here. So we had our
construction.
wonderful energetic interaction with the rat energy, the mice.
They're this big, little
very,
babies.
Very innocent yet industrious. That's one of the things about...
And invasive. And freak. I think it's interesting that they're in that Chelita was part of this.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll talk about that later.
It's more. And also what's going on is this creation energy.
Yeah.
Here at Tosa Blue Mountain, we are fine-tuning this facility as an ascension campus that holds ascended frequencies. And I just want to pause for a moment and explain something to you. There are levels of consciousness, frequencies, that are going on throughout the planet. And these frequencies are either broadcasting or emanating from a density strata or from a more ascended strata. What we have learned in our lifetime of investigation and moving forward is that when you have the grace and good fortune to be in an environment that is carrying a frequency of what David Hawkins' work would describe over 500 on his levels of consciousness, you are in the zone of a purity. Well, every square inch of this property is vibrating at 500 or above, and there's some very special portals that are much higher. And so I offer this to you only as a reminder in your life when you find a place, whether it's in your own home, whether it's a moment where that ascended frequency is visible and you feel it, honor that, be with that, and just breathe it in. Because as we integrate that inwardly, it helps dissolve the coarser frequencies that have become habitual companions.
Yep.
Your process in the Yoga of Self-Ascension is a path of upliftment. And to lift up means also to let go of that which is holding you back. Lifting up is a blessing. Letting go takes a little intention, doesn't it?
Well said. I mean, isn't that, and it's just, I find it exciting, Sri, that we are here at this integrative moment because this is a very unique year coming up. The fact that all of these energies, and guys, it brings us right back to this very moment. Because in this very moment, remember, we are still in this beautiful, exquisite 3-day intensity that is culminating this final cycle of December to open up that portal of the 31st.
Yes.
And this is a very magical moment. It's almost like a a moment where the universe says, look, no matter what, we're going to peel back the curtain. You want to peek? And then you still get to decide what you want to do with it. So if you want to peek, come join us New Year's Eve, because we're sure going to be holding open some curtains.
Well,
I can tell
yes,
you that.
yeah, and by getting on that list and clicking in to get your own private video feed,
Exactly.
you're opening a portal of connection, a portal of upliftment, and an opportunity to have a basis for your discernment to move forward.
And of course, this is our gift to you. So we're not saying
all
do
free.
this because it costs you anything. It's absolutely free. Just please join us. This is about community. This is about celebration. We've been doing this 5 years in a row.
Yeah, and it's so important for each and every one of us to cultivate the discernment filter, because there is a lot of stuff being broadcast out there. And let your heart be your guide. Mm-hmm. So often our mind gets going on there's a controversial topic, or there's a stimulation I want to dance with. And that's fine and dandy, go for it. But keep one's heart going as the truth detector, because your heart will help you decide where to invest your energy that will be productive and supportive for your journey forward.
Absolutely. And so, Shri, why don't we just start heading back to the phone lines for a
Let's
moment or
do it.
two? All right. It looks like we're going to Albuquerque, our old stomping grounds. Hey, Albuquerque. Namaste.
Hi, Kira and Shri. How are you? It's so nice to hear from you.
Thank you. It's nice to hear from you too, sweetheart. How are you?
I am good. Actually, very, very blessed. I had to turn down the TV because I was watching you on YouTube.
Oh, well, thank
At the
you.
same time, because it's the only way I could reach you was this way. Okay. Kira, could I be honored with you doing a little mini soul reading for me, please?
Well, it would be my honor, sweetheart. Thank you for asking. And, as I'm connecting with you right now, the first thing I'm feeling is this massive heart presence. I mean, massive. And it's funny because the energy that I'm experiencing feels like a pulse. And it's like I'm feeling your heart pulsing out active, like joy and love and energy to the planet. But then behind that, so imagine that's the front of the chest. But behind that, I don't see it being filled up enough. And so what I'm watching right now is it's the beloved Ascended Master Saint Germain, and his hands have come down behind your heart chakra on the back. And it's like this violet energy is pouring. I'm watching the hands disappear and just become rays of light. And as I'm sharing that with you, this huge, massive, like I almost want to call it the shield. I think it's the shield of Zadkiel, quite frankly. That's what it looks like. It looks like the shield of Zadkiel is coming in behind your head. And the message that they're saying is that you have been restored and you are now armed and ready. And so as your breath takes you and your joy shows you, trust where your feet are going. And so it is.
Namaste.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much. It just, my heart feels like it's just, like you said, just outpouring of love and everything. Yeah. I'm so blessed to have that reading. Thank you so much.
Oh, honey, we're just so blessed to be with you right now. Yeah. Thank you, my
much
angel.
Love,
much love to a place we still love. Namaste, honey. Oh, my whole crown chakra is ignited. Do you guys feel that? Wow. I love when we get together. All right, Shri, who's next?
My goodness.
Where are we going? We're going to Eureka, California, I think. Is that it? Why Rika?
Why
not? Right. Namaste. Why Rika?
Namaste. I love you, Shri and Kira. I'm so glad that you had a wonderful trip. I'm so glad you're back, and I'm so happy I finally got to watch the show live.
Hey, well, all these wonderful firsts today. Yay.
Well, I was just calling for a mini soul reading because a lot of stuff has changed, and everything seems, there's a flow, definitely a flow. So I thank you very much for everything. I love you both.
Oh, well, we love you. And it's funny, as you were sharing, what they were showing me, and there's a lot of them, was that you guys have been going in chakra order today. Our first caller was about the third chakra. And we were just on with our Albuquerque caller was heart chakra. your throat. So it's really interesting. I feel that each one of you that is coming on today, and we're going to have time to take more callers, are surrogating for a lot of people. So Angel, it's all about your throat. When I connect with you right now, it stops right here. It's like taking a really deep breath. And they're saying, taking a really deep breath, feel it in your third chakra, ignite it through your heart. And it out. And there's and this beautiful group I want to talk about is representative of all the indigenous tribes. I've never seen a more beautiful indigenous gathering than I'm staring at right now, but every one of them is in a crystalline experience. So it's like all of the indigenous tribes of this world experience with a representative in their crystalline nature. And then right behind them, I'm seeing what looks like the Great White Brotherhood. I mean, it's just this huge group. I'm pretty confident that's who it is. And I'm talking about the Ascended Masters known as the Great White Brotherhood. And behind them, I'm seeing like this cosmic creation energy. And all of that is coming into you right now. And they're saying, as you begin to remember and trust that which you are, set your truth free and begin. It's like they're saying, for everything you've done, it's gotten you here. Now get ready to go even further and begin again. And so thank you, my love. Thank you for calling today and for helping all of I'm feeling my throat chakra. And thank you, my love. Many blessings.
Many blessings. Thank you.
Thank you. Namaste. Whew.
Yeah, let's
You
all
feel
take
that?
a breath.
I mean, do you guys feel
I've
this?
got
The
all this
third,
going on.
right? The third chakra, the fourth chakra, the fifth chakra. And it's funny because every time I connect with our call board, it's like, I'm not saying that it's always going to go in that, but there's been a lot of spin, a lot of what you were talking about in the first half of the show, Shri.
Yeah, the spiral.
There's been a lot of the spiraling energy, and this is to be expected right now. And I want to say, before we would take another caller, if you are finding yourself in a downward spiral right now, or you're perceiving yourself in a downward spiral right now, then number one, congratulations that you see it, right? That's the first thing. It's just like, oh yeah, I get it. Or if you feel you're in a lateral loop, congratulations that you're there. Now, in these 3 days, what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with that? Because it's how you respond to it that will determine where you're going to go with it. So is that good enough? I want to go. I want to go to North Carolina. Shri.
Okay, all right. And I got another thought to share, but
share it first.
No. It's okay. It's
I
cool.
don't want you to lose that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So because you touched on something very important, and that is that you might be in a downward spiral, meaning things in your life are feeling more complicated or friction because in the
hard to hold your joy,
exactly, and more conflictual and polarized. Those are all signals that your energy field has entered into density zones, and that's the zone of a limited belief systems at work.
Yeah.
So the moment you recognize it, as you said, you go, hey, wait a minute, I can make a choice. Congratulations. That's the mastery practice. Please, to do your best not to judge yourself going, oh no, I messed up. You didn't mess up.
No.
It's oh no or oh yeah, I get to practice my mastery.
And to discover what you're doing that created it. Because remember, this is not anybody else's doing, even though when you're in the cycle, blame is usually where you go, or excuses is usually where you go.
It's one of the energies associated with that level.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with that if that's happening. What's important is that if you see it, then are you spending more time online? Are you back looking at density stuff?
Yeah, what are the triggers that are pulling you?
What are you eating? What are you drinking? I can share with you guys that both Shri and I could not come even close to sustaining the vibrational frequency that's been asked of me right now if my diet had not been radically modified. And I can share with you, and we're going to be releasing those ascension symptoms in the next few weeks. Food is a big one this year because overall, this is also a year of great healing. Yeah. And so if you are noticing those things, you've got to get honest with yourself. Look in the mirror with love, right? Be the one who's loving yourself enough to look in the mirror and go, oh, beautiful one, I am so sorry. And now let's heal. And we talked all about this last week on the show about the sacred union and the trust. Remember,
Yeah.
we published in 2015 that 2020 was going to be that year of trust energy. And so trusting the balance of the body and the soul is how you can hold the higher frequencies.
You know, you are the custodian of your
Yes,
body.
yes.
The body's not you. You are the custodian of the body, which will then, in a sacred union energy with your soul, provide a vessel for your ascension process,
Yes.
provide a vessel for your experience here in form, and there is a divine synergy between the two.
And they've got to be equal. They've got to be equal. The body cannot feel like it is being treated as something less. And so that's the greatest gift of the trust. And remember, tomorrow on Sri and Kira Live, noon Pacific time, we're going to be giving you that perfect balance checklist. And guess what one of those checklist items is? It's about the body.
Yeah.
There's a lot to share. All right, let's go back to that
Okay,
call board.
back to North Carolina.
Hey, Chapel Hill. Namaste, Angel.
All right, I don't see you talking.
Hello.
Hey,
you go.
there you are. Namaste. Hi.
Oh my gosh, how are you? I love you guys so much. Oh my goodness. So I'm so grateful I got through. The show's amazing. I feel it all, like sincerely. Especially about the body. This month, I mean, January started like with a bang, and
Yes.
around the 8th, I decided exactly what you guys are kind of discussing. I needed to lighten the load and really love the body, and so I'm like 20 days now into a fasting, and it'll carry me through the new year. And my body has definitely been responding in amazing ways, and just through that self-love and not making it or trying to force it, just that love and nourishment. And I can't eat like I was before either. And I know next year that's going to carry on. I don't even know. It's so much I wish I could say, but I know I have a small amount of time. But, oh my gosh, like, this month has, like, really peeled back so many layers and veils, and, like, the awareness has finally set in, and it's kind of, I'm in like a newborn state, because it's like that resurrection and emergence of what's really true and authentic that I don't know if I've ever felt this way in my entire life in form. And so it's a clearing, it's an awakening, and I feel 2020 palpably and what's coming. And so if I would be honored, dear beloved Kira, and I know in the energy of strength and courage and support, for a mini soul reading to help support me for what's coming, because I feel it. I do.
Yeah, well, yeah, and you're sharing it with all of us so beautifully, and I have to giggle because as you were sharing, there was a lot of information coming in, but right near the end, and this happened last week.
Yeah, once again, the Shiva eye.
The Shiva eye flew off again for you. For you, and the reason, and I'm just going to put it up to the camera for those of us that are watching, and you can see that this one is very beautiful and very violet, and very pure on the back. And anyway, the reason I'm doing that is we did move up. So in 2020, in the 7 polarities of free will, which I know you took, what it said was that it was all going to be about the chakra affiliation. We were just at the throat. Guess what this one was? 2020 is all about the third eye. It's all about the third eye. And in your case, it's about the third eye igniting. Now, before we got on the air today, I was almost late because I had to run back downstairs and get the cosmic tuner and get the A tuner, which I just pulled out. Because I clearly heard that there was a great potential today that we would need to offer a third eye crystalline attunement. And so, my angel, I'm offering this attunement first and foremost on your behalf, because this is why you wanted the mini soul reading. They're saying that this will answer your questions. And that also I want to thank you because of you, everyone else is going to get this attunement today as well. So I'm going to take a sip of my tea. And remember, it begins here. You want to show them?
Yeah. So the meridians of this attunement begin right at where the eyebrows begin, and right at the bridge of the nose, and they go up. And oftentimes you'll see the sages in India painting those lines.
Just like you see the crystal tuner on me right now.
Yeah, it's a long U.
And you see my bindi, third eye. You see what it does? It cradles the third eye with your crystalline energy by igniting those 2 cosmic prime meridians. So I'm going to ask you to take in a deep breath. I'm going to first point this straight out, and I'm going right to these 2 spots. And then I'm going to lift it and move the energy up. And so just take in a deep breath. And I'm going to get the sound. We're lifting the energy up. Now I'm going to add a little more resonant tone for all of you. And as you breathe up and as you feel that crystalline energy ignite you, really ignite you, as you feel that energy, breathe up and ask. And in that moment, you will discover what it is you're looking for. And so it is. I love you, honey.
So it is. I love you too. Namaste. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sweetheart. And Shri, I can't think of a better way to culminate today's show.
Yeah.
I mean, how does this show go so fast? Now, look, first of all, for all of you that are in the call board, make sure you call in early tomorrow so we can talk to you then. We'll be on at noon Pacific time.
Yes, and we look forward to connecting with you. And also, one of the things to remember is that energy plus consciousness moves form. Energy plus consciousness creates form. So it's one of those things that as we connect with these meridians and the energetic that is stimulated by this tuner, you're moving out artifacts of fear. You know, many times people say, well, what are they doing? I didn't feel anything. Doesn't matter whether you felt it or not. What matters is that your intention was pure.
Breathe in, just breathe in.
And I intend now to release all unneeded energies, all that would no longer serve my path of reunion, my path of upliftment and serving the one. So, beloved ones, we want to say to you, we are grateful for you. We are so delighted that we're back here at Tosa Blue Mountain in Ecuador, and we're going to be with you every weekend for the foreseeable time ahead, because we are here, and we are ready, and we are open, and we are guided to be with you.
And we love you so dearly. Get to ShriandKira.com, register to be with us New Year's Eve, and please make a note to join us tomorrow, once again, at noon Pacific time.
And so between now and then, take a breath, breathe deeply, and know that all is truly well.
Namaste.